I can hardly focus, can you poke it out for me? Know what I mean in those jeans. Ooh,
what's going on, people? It's your boy 3MG. I'm going to speak a little bit about The Division. Is it worth the $60? People wanted to know on my live stream. They've been asking me questions. So first and foremost, people were telling me in my live stream, is it worth the $60? And I said, listen, this is a team-based game. They're like, okay, but I could play by myself anyway. Just let me know, is it fun enough? I can't give you an opinion on my experience if you're going into this game playing by yourself or looking to only play by yourself, because this game is promoted as a multiplayer game. This is an online only multiplayer game, open world, whatever multiplayer game. The features in this game, everything, the elements in this game, everything that you can do in this game involves teamwork. If you unlock your abilities, if you unlock all these perks and all these systems and all these mechanics that are in the game, it revolves around multiplayer and strategy and team-based structure. You won't have that experience if you're going into this playing by yourself. Can you do it? Yeah, you can do it. Can people have fun with it? Of course they can. But if you're someone who wants to give a review on this game and you're going into this game playing it by yourself, you might be a little biased. You might discredit this game. You might not give it the full review of respect or whatever you want to give it that it may deserve, considering that you went into this game by yourself. So, like I said, this game is promoted as a multiplayer game. And the only experiences and opinions that I can give you is based on the fact that I went into this game playing out the story and most of the missions with my friends. So if you're playing this by yourself, you'll be missing the call out systems. You'll be missing the ability to help to build up your base with your friends. The fact that you get to loot with your friends. You'll be forgetting all that fun factor. Everything that involves you and your friends or you and people will be missing, and you'll be going in there bare bones just by yourself. So just wanted to point that out. But let's get into the game. So the story, is it long? Is it short? It depends. You could beat the whole story in one day. You could probably beat the whole story in like 6-7 hours if you just really got you and your team and you play out the main story missions. There's I forgot how many, but there's a bunch of story missions. The problem that Ubisoft did is that when they're promoting this game and when this game was announced, the same way with E3, they announced this game. It's a survival open world game where an epidemic started in New York City with smallpox. All right, we got this whole gist, right? Seeing this game, when this game was revealed, people assume that there's a backstory to this game. There is a backstory, but it's not as broad. So whatever they were telling us, most people are not seeing it in the game. When people jump into this game, you're looking at it like it's just, okay, open world game with thugs and shit, and you got, cleaners, or you got people with flamethrowers. You just got all this going on. The way to really know the story, and this is the big upset part, the big downfall for me, is that you would have to go around the world and maybe do they got little, cinematic clips, whatever, when you go back to the base of operations or whatnot. And to really know what the story is about, you got to listen to a lot of the intel, the callings, the echoes, and a lot of the outside in the world. You got like little stuff on the floor that you may have to pick up that you see on your map. And that was the drawback for me, because you basically explain the story, and as explained, I assumed that there was an actual story with cinematic clips, with cutscenes. I thought there was going to be a lot of cutscenes after missions, even though we was playing with our people. That's why we said it was a single player story in a multiplayer world. Not many cutscenes, actually. The only cutscenes you see is like minuscule. You have a couple. And basically, you just gotta listen to the recordings to know the true story, the whole story. And that's like, I'm like, so then why even promote a story on it? But aside from that, it doesn't really have a strong story that you can really engage with. You just know what's going on, and then you're basically in the battle. So that's said. What allows me to really get away from that and just still enjoy the game is, like I said, you play with your friends. So you play these missions out. What I do like is that this game is very difficult. It has a great pacing to it. I think the enemy AIs are still a bit stupid, but they're definitely powerful, more powerful than the betas and the alphas that were released. A lot of fun factor in that case. I did notice that some of the loot they drop, some of them are whack, some of them are bad, some of them are like mediocre. But then in some cases when you verse like the superior bosses or the elites, I call them, or I forgot the actual name of the guys that are in yellow. I think they're high-end bosses or whatever you want to call them, the ones with their names. They sometimes drop superior loot, which is in purple, or just even higher loot than that or whatever. That, yeah, that's cool. You get great loot for that. After that, you're telling yourself, okay, let me do the side missions, let me do some of the encounters, because now you want to get more XP. They raised the level cap up above 30. Now it's way above 30 because people were beating the game within like a day or two, getting themselves up to level 30, then going into the dark zone. Now I will say this, I got the majority of the game done, right? My dark zone level is only 17. I can still do this review slash whatever my thoughts of this video is worth 60 because it's pointless to me. At first I was like, yo, the engagement, oh my god, dark zone is where it's at, right? And it is for the most part where you and your guys, after you beat the story and get all, you know, the equipment and guns, whatever that you're ready to do, and get into the dark zone. Yeah, dark zone is what you can say essentially where it's at. But the issue here is that you're doing the same thing every time you get into the dark zone. If you're looking to get, your main focus is to get specific weapons at a certain level. If you want to get specific scopes or whatever, when you finally get to that tier that you have your gear that you want, to the weapons that you want, the whatever that it is that you're trying to achieve or get from the dark zone, what is the point of going back to the dark zone? It's the same thing every time you enter the dark zone. Now I know some people are gonna be like, nah, but the dark zone, when you kill regular people, you go rogue, sometimes you kill other people. I actually don't even care now. It's not as critical as I thought it was going to be. I can lose all the gear I want that I have looted. All I got to do is hit up my boy Boom Man and be like, yo, Boom Man, he's level like 40 now. Yo, can you get on the division, get me in the dark zone, help me get this purple? And he's bodying everybody for me, point blank period. I'm picking up the loot and he's able to get me, help me extract. So it's not as critical. Because if there's nothing to really lose in this game, there's nothing that allows you to be like, oh my god, I'm so nervous, oh my god, because you can always find somebody to help you. You can always get people to help you just get all that. Now it may seem like, yeah, exactly, but the point is, I understand, but is how much longevity will that feature have, will the dark zone have? The whole game should have been dark zone, in my opinion. And then again, the whole game should have been you being able to shoot enemies or have its own server where then you're allowed to just shoot actual people and steal from them and go to bases. Like, this game should have been more broader than where it's at right now. The dark zone, literally, you go in there, it's the most contaminated area in the game. You're going up against actual enemy AI that are more smarter, more deadlier in the case, that have more rare loot. You can get rare loot from them, the high-end bosses, superior bosses. And your task is to try to go in there, literally get as much loot and fucking extract it at the point, whether you have 30 seconds, 45, or a minute and a half. And then you have the occasional multiplayer guys, the actual PvP people, who come in and either help you, they want to extract things themselves, or they kill you. But that's really it. I'm gonna be honest with you, there's nothing that much more engaging. I feel like there's something missing. Because when me and my boys did it, we continued to do it. I'm like, yo, I just want to get out of here already. Like, forget it. I don't even want to be in here. When you finally reach or get the stuff that you want, when you finally craft what you want, the gold weapons or whatever it is that you want, you're really looking at this game like, what is the point of continuing to play? Because that's where I'm at right now. Even though I could be level 17 in the dark zone, the fact that I got a higher level to help me get the weapons that I want, for me to go back into PvE world with my boys, that's really all that matters. And now that they up the level cap, what worries me with this game is that, is the DLC going to be different from the main game? Because I feel it should. As easy as the main game is, and as simple as it is, although there's so much features and so much content in the game, and I believe there is, it is so simple and bare bones at the same time. So, and I'm talking about bare bones meaning the actual template of the game. You're going with your friends, 4 people, you run up in bases, the same enemies, the same missions that go on and on and on. It's the same missions, to be honest with you. And you're literally doing the same kind of engagements, virus scannings, hostage, trying to secure hostages. You're going into this one building to complete this task, to complete this checkpoint, to complete this task, to get to the main boss. It's literally the same thing. So if this is what they're going to give us in the second DLC, I don't know. I'm hearing rumors that there's going to be raids. I think raids are cool too. Trading is going to be cool too. But if there is trading, then you already know that the majority of people are going to actually not really trade, but hook their boys up. What is the point of the dark zone? You get what I'm saying? The dark zone is more broader than how I'm explaining it. But when you get into the dark zone, you understand, like, literally all you're doing is just going up against enemy AI who are more stronger than you. You got to watch out for some multiplayer people because they might want to kill you. But then again, I think people are now understanding that they'll rather just get their boys and just try to unlock their own shit with their boys and not even mess with you and take your loot, because why? Their boys who are at a higher level can help you get superiors instead of you risking, you know, killing another multiplayer guy, because you don't know if he has superiors on him or not. So it's like you're disconnecting people in the dark zone. At the same time, people are taking risks killing people in the dark zone. It's kind of pointless unless you actually seen that you could take his outfit, and then that's the risky part. Then that would have been like, oh my god. But it's not like that at all, and that's just my opinion in the game. Like, you know, there's everything. At the very least, you would think that there's a purpose, right? When you finally get what you want in the game, when you finally see that and the thing is, remember, they don't have a dedicated multiplayer lobbies to be competitive. And I think this game can do so good if they have a competitive system in here of multiplayer, like a battle royal, like H1Z1, where you got up to 4 people on a team and you get brought into the whole world, and you know, you got the green gas, like something similar to that nature, and then you have no weapons, you have to find weapons in the world. That'll be great, but they limit you what you can do in the game. Honestly, like I said, this game is something I really now regret saying that it was terrible in the beta, because actually there's a lot of fun. There's a lot of modern day. It's so modern day-ish that I just cannot help but enjoy the fact that I don't need to pick up a laser weapon. I'm picking up regular weapons. I'm actually using regular scopes. I'm using stuff that is to my time period now, not in the future, but it just feels like it's so risky and critical of these guys to do a game like this, where even the story missions felt like side missions. They're so bare bones. It doesn't matter. Like, all the story missions has similar bosses, snipers, cleaners, fucking waffle, what the fuck you want to call them. And when people ask me, is it worth the 60? I'm saying this and it sounds like I'm talking negative. It's a very fun game to get into. Even though I'm leveled to the max, well, not anymore because they updated the level cap, but even though I got the majority of what I want in the actual regular world, PvE world with my boys, I don't mind continuing to play with my boys and having fun. But the main thing is, this is what you're going to get yourself into in the main game. I'm not talking about bugs and glitches. That doesn't tarnish or that doesn't fucking ruin anyone's experience, because they could just simply patch that. But the overall fun factor, longevity, is the DLC going to really revive the game? It's not dead right now, but what I'm saying is the DLC going to bring something new? Because I feel like we've drained the shit out this game, and there's really nothing new for us to do. We've explored so much. With a world this big, we've already like 90% explored almost everything. There's nothing new, nothing engaging, and this DLC gonna have to has to change a little bit from what the main game is about, and some patch updates. I've already seen on the map there's something that says free update coming soon, like to get into this mission. I don't know, but overall, is it worth the $60? I personally don't think it's worth $60 unless you have a dedicated team of like 8 people, just in case, you know, your 4 ain't there. You have another 4, another, you know, 2-3 guys to play with. For the single player guys, is it worth the $60? Absolutely not. Is it worth the $60 for people who don't got PS Plus? Absolutely not. Don't even purchase this game. It's online only. You won't be able to access the game. Is it worth the purchase for people who are looking for an actual open world RPG or whatever open world game? I wouldn't necessarily say so, because it doesn't have all the elements of an open world MMO or semi-open world open world RPG game. Like, there's a lot to deliver and to give in this game. There's a lot of content, but not as grasping and as something that they can continue for years on, and they would have to continue to drop content. Do I suggest people hold their money and wait till like the next DLC or 2 DLCs or 2 big updates come? Yeah, I highly suggest you do, because once again, if you have a dedicated team, definitely go for the purchase. Take that chance. If you're looking for a third-person shooter that has a lot of customization, you have the abilities, you got perks that you can put on your gear that make you even more powerful. Everything that you do in here builds your character and allows you to build up a suit to help your team. So if you can build a suit and be collective and whatever for your teammates as well as yourself, yeah, if you love that type of stuff, definitely get this game. Remember, this game is a strategy based team game. There's a lot of customization, not character customization. That's a big downfall with this game, but it's very big on teamwork and customizing for your abilities. Once again, class setups. I think it has a lot to go. It has a lot of potential to add. There's room for growth in this game. There's room for improvement. There's room for new features and mechanics, new bosses, like rumors said, raids and all this other extra stuff. There's a lot of room for it, but they need to execute a plan or a system where even if you beat the story missions, remember when Destiny, after you beat the main story mission, you thought, what the hell is else there to do? Because the multiplayer was a bit dry in the beginning. There's no multiplayer in here to go up against other multiplayer people other than the Dark Zone. In the Dark Zone, you're not going based off of stats. You're not going based off of nothing. It's really just surviving, because it's a survival game, which I don't believe it's a survival game anymore. Honestly, as long as you have some beastie ass people on your team, you can fucking take out whoever you want. But it doesn't have a dedicated multiplayer with certain modes for you and your team to get in engage with. So hopefully, hold on your money if you're really skeptical about this, if you're really iffy about it. Even if you have a squad of people, wait for the next DLC or 2 DLCs to drop. Really see if this game is really worth the purchase. I mean, for now, it got a good amount of weapons, I believe. A lot of, once again, customization, but that's really all I gotta say. Is it worth the 60? You just heard it here. But it's your boy 3MG. Let me know what you guys think about this game in the comments below, and please leave a like. And I'm out. Peace. I'm gonna be live streaming UFC 2 tonight, so I'm gonna put my link in the description for my Twitch. Please follow the Twitch and watch me body some people in UFC 2. Peace.